Right, hello everybody. It's been just over a month, maybe a little bit longer since I did a stream, or it's maybe two, I can't remember at this point. But my YouTube just crossed the 5,000 subscriber threshold, so I thought I'd do a little stream to celebrate and just sort of say thank you to everybody who's been here for the ride. Many of you subscribed many years ago now, maybe not so many back in the early days, because I mean the channel's been around for 10 years, but back then I just used it to upload random little videos of things I was looking at without really trying to present anything or doing streams. But I know there's a solid following of you here, and I do really appreciate that. And yeah, we've got a few of you in the chat already. I mean, this is probably only going to be a short stream because my schedule's been absolutely packed of late. But we've got Angel, and we've got System 11, Smedis, Aussie Guy, Feminius, and B&M all here, or BM, not B&M, B&M's a short, but BM all here. And good afternoon if you're on UK time to all of you. If you're somewhere else, good evening or good morning or good 3 AM. I don't know where you're based. I never see where you're based because you've told me before, but people all over the world are here. So I hope you can hear me. Thank you for Minius. Hopefully we'll reach another milestone at some point, although I don't know. I mean, I know what I do has got a pretty limited appeal, limited reach, but that's fine with me. I mean, I just enjoy emulating these old arcade and console things I can do research on them. And the one I've got in the corner down there, furthest Pinocchio, is one I've been hoping to get improved for quite a while. So the recent work where we've actually managed to make it playable is pleasing to me. And I think that is where we're going to start. So as long as the volume levels are good and everything else, if they're not, let me know. I'm going to switch to that view, and that still appears to work. So yes. Now, Fearless Pinocchio. It's one of IGS's sort of ticket redemption style games, but it's interesting because it was themed as a fighter. Not really, I won't call it a versus fighter because it's a one-player game only. You just fight. It's a bit of a boss rush kind of thing. It's quite interesting. It did show sort of the route IGS was going to take. Because if you go to arcades these days, you see an awful lot of IGS games that sort of follow this mould. They're not fighters, but they're sort of redemption games aimed at kids where you can win some tickets for playing a brief bit of gameplay. But there's something about this one. The presentation is actually really impressive. They've done some really good sprite work based on Pinocchio and those of the characters. They've done voice acting, which is entertaining. But yeah, there's not much to it. There are some special moves and stuff like that, but for the most part you can just mash the button on the page. So you can get bigger combos, and the only thing it tracks in terms of scoring is combos, so it's kind of limited. And so you can only play as just Pinocchio here. But I don't know the moves. I mean, I've made him long, which is not very useful. There we go. So, and you get to fight 3 characters randomly selected. The first 2 randomly selected, then you fight against Captain Hook. And that's it. But they've done a really nice job on the presentation, I feel. I'll just adjust some of these window size a bit, so if I fail here. Okay. A resolution, I think 640 by 480, it's really out. It does only seem to update to every other frame, so effectively 30 frames a second. But yeah, it's one of those, it uses a VGA monitor more like a PC. Yeah, a PC at the time, I guess we were still on standard VGA screens in 2006, weren't we? This one's yeah, you can run out of time to play it. It's really bad. And it doesn't count any hits after the time's expired, which is kind of annoying because you can do the middle of the combo and obviously killing the enemy with your combo, but as soon as that timer hits 0, it won't count any more of your hits. Although, the chance of you failing is pretty minimal anyway. These games were just designed to pay out tickets, so, 3 minutes of gameplay for 10 picks or whatever is the expected thing. That's why, despite showing a lot of, common ideas with gambling games, they're not quite gambling games, and they managed to get away with it, but yeah, they're not really games with quite any high level of skill. If you want to challenge yourself for the highest combo, there's probably ways using the special moves you can get better combos than I'm showing here, but perfect on the last thing, and that is the game. And then you get your left ending, which is the again, it's well done, it's humorous. You've got your crocodile there, and Captain Hook being dragged off, and then you get a little bit of speech I rescued his papa. The game audio is too high. Interesting. Let me turn that down a little bit then.
I'm so happy to see you.
And turn it up a little bit here. So, is that better? Yeah, so getting the audio levels on these games is quite tricky because every arcade game and even every console in MAME is going to have a different sort of bass volume level, and so it's not always easy to judge, especially not when I'm not wearing headphones, and I didn't feel like wearing headphones today. It's just been another rather warm, muggy day, and it's like, nah. But anyway, that was one run through Fearless Pinocchio. We'll give it another go and see if I get some different characters. Thank you, BM. Now, there was another game on this hardware that's not been dumped yet. It's using the same graphics, like Fist Talk source. But anyway, it's the same thing, but instead of a fighting game, it's rock, paper, scissors. And we've confirmed it's the same PCB. It just even uses the I think the same IGSO 27 CPU type with probably the same internal ROM, but that's not dumped yet. It does use fewer graphic ROMs, so it would need a complete dump. I think it might be called Fist Talks actually. I can't remember. It's on YouTube, but we just don't have a PCB of that yet. But that's one that will maybe show up sometime down the line if PCB is sourced. But, yeah, I mean the reason these could be emulated now is because a new technique for extracting the internal ROMs from some of the IGSO 27A ARM CPUs a bit easier was found. It still doesn't solve the problem for all of them. If there's no external ROM, it's not going to work. But it does mean for a lot of these on this type of board, which is, I mean, it's not really a PGM board. The same protection chips were used on PGM, but this is a standalone board. It does mean that they can be extracted, and a large part of IGS's library, especially their sort of Mahjong and slot machines, use the O27A2, and they're likely going to be the next target. I mean, we've already tried, well, we're already looking at one of the slot machine ones, although for some reason we didn't get a good readout of it at the moment, so that's being investigated by Peter Wilhelmsen and a few others, so we'll see. But yeah, again, there's no real challenge to this game. You can always just, you know, complete it and get the tickets out of it. 2006, it's VGA, but that probably means it's not your standard arcade CRT. It's probably more like a PC monitor, so probably a bit sharper. I don't know if it was an LCD. I've never actually seen a cabinet of these in the wild. But yeah, it's VGA output. As these are in MAME, the service mode doesn't save settings, but it's quite a fancy looking service mode actually. They've put a nice little board at the top and everything else. You can change the demo volume. Interestingly, these sort of use a combination of dip switch. Not in this case. This one doesn't really use the dip switch, but the other game in the hardware, Super Kids, used the dip switch instead of the service mode, which is interesting. Bookkeeping, for some reason, has a default password behind it, which is on this game 1234. It just tells you, no, it was played twice on this day, which is, well, it's not quite the right year, is it? Because I don't know. I think you haven't been meant to set the actual time and date before you start playing it. But there you go. You see, it's been played for what? 6 minutes or seconds. The timers might be quite a little bit off here. I'm not sure. There you get your bookkeeping menu, system settings. You can change the password. You can change the time. There we go. I don't know. That was Fearless Pinocchio anyway, which yeah, I've quite enjoyed looking at this one. The video hardware was also different to PGM, although very simple. It's just simple sort of non-tile based sprites all over the screen. So I guess from that we'll have another look. We'll have a little look at the other thing I emulated recently, which is kind of terrible, but I suppose it still counts, and this is Drum Superstar from Scenario. Now, I've known about this one for quite a long time, since I was started looking at these plug-and-play games, but it almost never showed up. It showed up twice. I think the first time was about 5 years ago, and it was about $100 then, and it showed up more recently for $75, which is still far more than I'd want to pay for this type of thing, and far more than it's worth, although it was $60 at retail back in the day, so about the same price if you take into account inflation. But yeah, they did the Guitar Superstar games, which are Guitar Hero rip-offs, and they did Drum Superstar, which is kind of a simplified version of it. Hey, System 11. Yes, so this is bad. I'm not sure how much of it is bad because of MAME's Simplest Audio emulation, because it just sounds bad. It sounds kind of awful, in fact, and seems to not always play notes when you hit them, but I don't know. Anyway, they're all sort of knockoff versions of the songs, I think. So we've got our buttons, and there's no strumming in this one. It's just okay. It's just a case of pressing the buttons, so it's much simpler than the guitar ones. But I don't know if it doesn't play the sound just because I'm getting the timing slightly wrong, or because it's very if it's a simplest emulation issue or what, or it's just a bad game. But yeah, it's you just got I want to call it a little drum set, but really it's just a controller with a bunch of pads on it, oversized pads that you can hit with drumsticks. It's not much like a real drum kit. But yeah. And like the guitar games, you get these sort of pre-rendered backgrounds to play along to. And of course these ones have been more around the drummer than the guitar player. But it's an interesting enough product. I don't think you'd be very impressed if you owned one. But I'm glad to have it emulated. It's one I've been keeping my eye out for a long time now. And finally got it. And yes, I'm terrible at any kind of music rhythm game, so please excuse my inability to play this well. But you get the idea. It's just a very simple type guitar hero type game. More so than even the Guitar Hero ones. Unfortunately, I think one thing that really harms these, apart from the general audio quality, is they seem to update the screen about 30 frames a second. And really with this type of game you want a smooth update, and you really don't get that. Yeah, I mean, there are lots of different types of music games these days. I got that Gunvolt one on the Switch recently, imported that. That's got its own sort of mechanics and expects you to press the buttons in different, the sticks in different directions at different times. And there's that Lyrica one. I've got, I think, Lyrica on the Switch. I kind of like that one. Again, that's got things moving all over the screen and you haven't pressed certain directions at certain times. But yeah, I prefer those over this. They're more creative visually. But yeah, it's surprising how many different ways they managed to present these things. But yeah, this is kind of rough, isn't it? But it's now emulated, and so if anybody's ever considering buying one, they can at least give it a spin in MAME first and see if they really want to spend far too much money on something that's actually not very good. I suppose if you just want it for a collection, that's fine, but you wouldn't buy this to play it. Unless you really like playing bad music games. Or want to be able to say you complete every song on it perfectly on real hardware. You see what I mean about some of the things not always sounding? Again, I've not really tested the unit because the unit wasn't shipped to me, it was straight to Sean in America. I don't know how this compares, but I don't think slightly better sound is going to save this. You've been trying to source a System Diva cab, a Project Diva cab for years with little success. I think one of the problems with these music games is they're still kind of popular. If you go into some of the dedicated arcades, there's still quite a lot. I mean, arcade club places have quite a few, and you see videos from Japan, and there are still these music games around. So maybe they're just not on the market yet, or something. Should we do one more song on this? Yeah, let's do one more song on this before we move on. So now we've got a few more buttons to contend with, which is just going to make matters worse. Oh, we've got to press 2 once now. Well, I do suck at these. I think you can fail on this mode, because this is the arcade mode, not the free play mode. If you do exceptionally badly, it will fail you. These were already made for kids. An expensive present when they came out, though. As I said, the retail price appears to have been $60, because the one we picked up had the original retail package sticker on too. For a big hunk of plastic, that's a lot of money. And this was from 2007, so the sort of whole Guitar Hero music fad was sort of dying down by then, wasn't it? If not dead, from what I remember. Maybe just after that it started to go downhill. I don't really remember when, but these seem very late for this kind of product. But then again, you look at all these Sun Plus games, they're all from that period. I don't think there are any Sun Plus based ones from earlier than 2004. So I guess that's when the tape was made available. You look at Zavix and they come from 2000 plus. In fact, I think the first Zavix game is 1999, or that's not been found yet. Some VTech educational hippo thing. Yeah, a lot of these newer ones do have network stuff, don't they? System 11 or other license requirements. I know Windy Fairy was studying some of the older, some of the Konami stuff, and found that some content in there got locked behind an expired license, and so MAME has 2 sets of some game, where one with license expired and one with license still active, and they've just got more aggressive over time. No, it's not quite Taiko no Tatsujin, is it, Aussie guy? What was the other? I mean, let's have a look at something a bit better that I probably don't know how to play. But there's this one. This is Shamisen Brothers Volume 1. And this is interesting because this... a CD for this was found, never a board, but the CD contained update data from which the program ROMs and everything else could be extracted. So we've not got an original board dump. We've got everything from an update CD that's been converted into a ROM set to work. And this was also apparently on Namco System 10. I don't know what the keys are going to be here. How does this work? Cool. I don't even know what the controls are on this. And some of these should probably be marked as player 2 buttons, because I'm assuming that's player 2. Okay. I have no idea. I don't know how to play this, by the way. I did try and fire it another time and got nowhere. Yeah, let's speed up the intro because these things. But yeah, this is quite well presented, and this was a dedicated piece of hardware from what we can tell. So I'm not sure why this exists on both a dedicated board and apparently Namco System 10. But, this is much more like a Taiko no Tatsujin. So, how do we play this? I'm assuming this is the song. Let's just go with what should be an easy song. So, is it? Yeah, it's just like Guitar Hero, isn't it? But you've got 3 things and the strum is that key. Okay, let's try this. Let's see how far we get. So, yeah, it's well presented. Again, presentation is very much like Taiko. Lots of little animated things. The horizontal view, things flying off when you hit certain notes. The original Taiko's still not been dumped, unfortunately. Not sure if we even know if it uses a CD or if it's a ROM-based one. Yeah, this is pretty decent. Oh, the mice are jumping around with the notes just to be annoying, of course they are. This would probably help if I had the volume on the PC a little louder so I could hear it. So yeah, that's the trick here. They jump around to put you off. Thank you. One more quarter. Thank you. It's definitely taken a while to get there, but it's a slow and steady growth on the channel. There seem to be people finding it all the time, and I don't know if they just see the videos I put up of like new emulated stuff, or if they watch some of the old live streams, some of which are probably quite embarrassing. So we'll do one more song on this. Let's see what difficulty 3 offers us. And if anybody's got any suggestions of things they'd like me to play in the chat, given that this is 5,000 subscribers special, do let me know. I've not really even had time to prepare a list this time. I'm sure people who play these music games are horrified about how I'm playing them. I mean, I can barely hear the audio, so that's not helping. Because I'm cramped on the little side of the keyboard. Anything you'd like to see, Otty Guy? Yeah, I don't. Is it going to fail me? So yeah, if you want to hear this played properly, maybe play it yourself. On the plus side, it may not get caught up by the YouTube audio detection because I'm playing it so badly. There's an advantage of being terrible at this type of game. But, on the other hand, it might just pick up the background. So yeah, apart from there being more notes, it's not very many other annoyances in like these mice. So I don't know if this is the only sort of weird thing about these games, if there are other things it may do. Yeah, there's the earlier version of Guttang Gottong. I mean, it's pretty similar to one of the bootlegs, isn't it? Already, that was already there, Aussie Guy. But yeah, that was added recently. And System 11 done that. But we could have a look at that. I'm not a game I'm very good at, if we're honest. But that could be set to most of these. I should have that. Is it the set that is just called Guttang? Is it just this set? I did play AU/Gold on, I think, the last stream I did briefly when it had just been added to HB MAME. And Lord BBH played it the other day too, and yeah, it's one of those prototype for a reason games, I feel. So yeah, this is the original version, isn't it? With the much more Galaxian font, despite not being on Galaxian hardware, and this one was found in Germany. So yeah, you've got. Is it this set? Yeah, I think it is, because you've got these people sitting on chairs for the station graphics, and later on change that to sort of a smiley face. Yeah, it's one of those go around and collect all the people. And there's a chasing train. Does this not have the speed up button? Is it just not now? I bet you can speed up by pressing the button. Oh, you can. Just hold it. You hold it. You don't just press it. Right, I figure out. Right, so this is where we're going to crash the train if we're not careful. Yeah, this is not a very good idea. I'm not playing this very well. How do I get the train to where I want it to? I'm terrible at slide puzzles. This entire game is a slide puzzle. Yeah, I can usually do the first stage, because I think the actual default layouts take it to where you need to be if you just make use of them. Sort of. But yeah, the levels get bigger and more complicated. Yeah, that's it. I would say that was a perfect clear. I lost a life, but you call it Oran. This is the problem. It's got a really bad name. You see, the level's already bigger. Because nobody's going to remember just 2 letters AU. Then you're tempted to call it gold, and like you're calling it Oran. It seems poorly conceived. Usually like this. Which way does it go after this? I don't know. That way? Always the... Okay, always that way. No, it... Okay, right, how do we get to go down? Press down. That works. Is that what I want to do? Probably not. That's probably not what I want to do either. It's definitely not what I want to do. No. Yeah, I don't like slide puzzles, so any game that is entirely slide puzzles is not really a game for me. It's probably the easiest thing to do is slide that when it actually frames over the piece you want. There we go. I completed the second level somehow. Not well, but somehow. It does still have the little smiley faces at the corner to mark the stage number, but they're not the station graphics in this case. Oh yeah, do that, that's good. Yes. Okay, yeah, do that. Is it just random where it goes on those pieces, or do you have some control over it? I've never quite understood the deeper mechanics of this one. Okay, that didn't help matters. Go down here. Yes, do that. I think we do that. Where are you going now? Okay. Yeah, all of them would have been easier to remember and better than just calling it like the two letters from the periodic table. But they didn't, and I say the game wasn't released. Again, people in Italy remember playing it, but maybe it got a very limited release there, or the PCBs just got sort of thrown there when they weren't going to sell in Japan. No idea. But yeah, it was mentioned on tilt.it even long before it was dumped. Anybody else really knew what it was? A bit like Planet Probe. So, shall we go from games I'm bad at to games I'm bad at? Sure. But I think it's a celebration. Let's play the cave game that feels most like a celebration because of the disco themes. This is Fever SOS, which does feel a bit like you've gone on a night out while you're playing a shoot 'em up. And it's one of the games I'm really surprised Cave did not do a sequel to, because it's kind of funky. That one might be a bit tricky to place Medis. Some of those Fantasia games are more heavily censored and might be suitable, but I would definitely have to check out specifically which ones were first, and I don't think they know the added ones are. So yeah, basically you've got to get the keep your combo up, I think it is. You've got to collect the disco balls before they bounce twice. Oh, that's a bad start. So they'll hit the bottom of the screen, turn this flashing colour, and they'll go back up the screen, and after that they'll just go off the screen. But yeah, okay, let's just kill off this credit. I have played this better and almost got a complete run on the first level before. Yes, I mean, it's good to have them dumped and see what the differences are between them, and they do sometimes have different images. I think somebody posted a link of a 2005 version in still operation in a Japanese arcade, was it? So I don't know how long Komad were making those things for. I mean, Komad are still in business, best we know, somehow. But yes, there's probably plenty of those that are still undumped. One human bomb here. Yeah. You see 70. I managed to get up to 70 on this this combo, and then died. It doesn't drop your combo when you die, so I don't know. No, it doesn't. You can get away dying and not lose your combo, which is curious. Don't really want to die, but yeah, it used to be a lot better. This one. I've not played it for good many years, and I think it's one of those that did deserve a sequel. I mean, who doesn't like a good disco theme? Yeah, you have to practice these games, and so I've not played this for years. And even after I've practiced them for like a good month, I'll usually get to about level 2 or 3 without dying, and that's it. I don't have to reflex for shooting ups. As much as I do enjoy them. You're not escaping, or you're probably not escaping them, of course. And your bombs do freeze them if you need to drop them on a screen like that, but also this is probably not an optimal setup in terms of latency. Yeah, that is an issue too. I mean, they might not be adult in nature, but they might still be pretty nasty. Ooh, the jinx girl. I'm dead already. Yeah. Don't judge my gameplay on this as anything. You reach my ability to dodge things even when they launch at you at that speed. And this, I don't like this ship. It's got this stupid charge thing. It still delays it. Which, no, that ship is not fun to play. Well, this ship isn't. It's not for me, because you launch these things. It's these sort of bomb missiles, which is not as handy as a nice fancy laser. No, indeed. No, indeed. What else has been going on? I mean, if we're going back to music, there have been some more Popira cartridges dumped. I guess we can do that, because, yeah, it's a celebration of things I've done on YouTube, and we've covered a fair bit of Popira, so, again, I'm not good at it. But, yeah, so one of the cartridges that was done recently is the SP07 cartridge, which is the Super Cartridge 7, which we'll briefly have a little look at on Popira. The controls are set up. What difficulty do we want? I'm not going to try even to attempt to do anything that's more than 2 stars, because I will fail. Yeah, you hit the balls up at the right time. If you hit them at the wrong time, they sort of half go up, and then you have to juggle them, which is a bad idea. Otherwise, yes. Unfortunately, it would have been nice if the cartridges added some new graphical themes too. Only the Mini Money one does. Otherwise, yeah, you get a bunch of extra songs to play Popira to, and if you want to challenge the higher level difficulties, do give it you. So there is still one cartridge you know about that is compatible with this and not dumped, although it should hopefully be dumped fairly soon. I have 2 of them. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite interesting the way they did these, and the cartridges are compatible with the karaoke, and they're compatible with Popira, and they're compatible with jumping Popira. Sometimes I could do Popira. In fact, I think this one's compatible with all of them, so maybe we'll do this song on all devices. I'm going to fail this, aren't I? Yep. That is what happens if I try and talk and play Popira. Let's try again. Let's give it one more shot. I know I can do the 2 difficulty ones without too much trouble. It's just I'm trying to talk it. So. Yes, I've been making a real effort to try and find basically all the Yarou and Popira cartridges, and I think we're down to 1 boxed retail cartridge for the Japanese Popira and Yarou and stuff like that we've not found. Interestingly, the majority of the ones that have been more difficult to find are kids series ones, anything that's either part of another series and is just a cartridge aimed at kids, or the dedicated kids series itself, which makes me wonder if they were either sold in lower numbers or in different places, or kids just didn't look after them, but there's definitely some sort of pattern there. Even for the high caliber, the last cartridge we found was the kids one. So I can't really explain exactly why, but so yeah, I mean, 2-star difficulty is not actually difficult, but anything above this, I will need absolute concentration, and 4-star, I'm not going to complete. But yeah, we'll have a look at this in the different units, because the super cartridges have a very wide compatibility. I mean, there's only 7 super cartridges. I say only 7. The Yarou itself only got, what, 6, 7, 8 cartridges outside Japan. So, still a fair number of songs. There you go. As you complete it, it does store the completion stages of each song. But we'll throw it in Taiko de Popira 2, which just has the 2 buttons, which are the drum pads. Now the actual pads are analog. MAME as MAME does with the mainstream Taiko games, we just pretend it's always a maximum strength drum hit because it's far easier to do that way. Did the Popira stuff sell well? Apparently it did. Not as well as Ikara, but apparently it did sell pretty well. So yeah, you see, you use the same cartridge, and we get some of the same songs. I mean, I can put 4-star difficulty here, and we can probably laugh in the end. Yeah. It's very similar, but let's use drums like, you know, like the Taiko, for the Taiko game. Yeah. Let's not play it on 4-star difficulty. How well is Wheels of Fire emulated? Not well. Not well at all. I was looking at it recently, and yeah, Docs was even talking to one of the developers who seemed to have horror stories to say about the development and how they basically just hacked their code until it worked. The hardware apparently didn't quite ever do what they wanted to do, and when you're trying to emulate that, it shows. It's some frame buffer, glitter, raster effects that don't seem to quite do what they want. Nightmare, and as a result, it's just a complete mess. I can fire it up, but I did demote it to not working in MAME because it's such a mess. Wheels on Fire. Is it Wheels on Fire or Wheels on Fire? The TCH one is what I'm thinking of. Oh, I should really pay attention. Anyway, you can see that it's the same song here. Happy Days, apparently. On a different unit. Still plays that. Okay, just the drums. Of course. Don't think anybody was really desperate to see these emulated. I'm really bad at the timing. Yeah. This is 2-star difficulty. This is easy. There we go. Yeah, they say it duplicates the sky and the lights start flickering, and the whole hardware doesn't make sense. And the other games that were dumped recently on the same hardware, I mean, okay, some of them are just prototypes that don't even work properly on the PCB. I modified the drivers so that Powerball game works pretty well on it, but that's not really using any of the fancy effects. But even for any of the zoom stuff, just seems like a hack. The sprite offsets seem, for even Powerball, I was having to not use the coordinates it was writing for the blitz, but add 1 to the source data, and I think when it's zooming, it adds partial pre-increments, and it's really bad. So that was SP07 on Taiko de Popira, and we're not going to play it on Ikara because there's nothing to see. But, we can have a little look at Jumping Popira, which is a big dance mat one for kids. I think the issue is, I mean, say we've talked to some of the developers and they couldn't really shed much light on it. The issue is, I mean, the pair of I say FPGAs, you know, the two customers, they apparently one of them's for accessing the ROM and the other's for accessing the RAM, and they work together, and that's how they do the zooming by altering the timing between them. It's a big mess. So we'll sort of go down to the same game, same song. Let's do. I mean, the thing with Jumping Popira is it's actually much easier than the rest of them because you can just spam the buttons. You can do them all at once. I mean, I guess because if you were playing on Dance Mat, you wouldn't have 4 legs, so you wouldn't just be able to go like this. But yeah, you can pretty much just spam all 4 inputs at once and do this. But yeah, Jumping Popira is cute. Jumping Popira is the one that really didn't do as well as the others, and the only cartridges outside of the 2 dedicated Jumping Popira cartridges that work with it are these Super SP cartridges. Still means you get 7 extra cartridges, some to Jumping Popira, but compared to the others, it was the one that wasn't really considered a success. You see, same song, same cartridge, different system. And I do like the way they did that. So, but yeah, we've been finding these cartridges for Japanese systems for all sorts of things. There's a sort of transformer type robot thing I picked up where it takes at least, well, I think there's only 2 ROM cartridges made for it, but each ROM cartridge has a different sort of new game to it. And then even that Duel Station thing, a card-based game that was dumped, there's a cartridge available for that too, which I've not seen for sale, but checking old auctions, it has been sold from time to time. I didn't even realise when we bought it, and then Team York was showing the pictures, like, oh, it's got a cartridge slot. Because they dumped it using the cartridge slot because it gives you full bus access. So, every time you think you've finished searching for a weird and wonderful Japanese product, you find more of them. Yeah, mash the buttons to win this version. I can actually beat 4-star difficulty. I mean, you'd expect it to be the theme tune to the TV show. Maybe it's a theme tune to a different TV show, but it's not the theme tune to Happy Days. I mean, some of these cartridges are themed around kids shows and things like that. In this case, I don't. The Super cartridge, I think it's just Super cartridge 07. Did it say best hit or did it say TV pop? It might be in the description actually. No, this is just the best hit cartridge, not a TV pop cartridge, so it probably wasn't even a different show called Happy Days. But what else is there to show? Okay, what about something that's not playable but still probably quite interesting to show? I know if this boots up. I know Kale has been doing quite a lot of work on making the Konami Viper games do a bit more, and I think things like GTI Club 2 now do run their track modes fully without freezing, so it's probably worth showing that. I can't manage to map any inputs in those, so unfortunately I can't even try and play it. And the graphics are still a mess, and we're not actually sure why. Because there was like speculation that the VRAM size was wrong, but checking the actual number of chips on the board, it seems to match up with what is in MAME. So I don't know if the Voodoo 3 just has some extra texture compression mode these use that isn't supported. But yeah, there's lots of broken textures, especially ones that appear to be like they're meant to be like lower bit plane alpha textures and things like that. I mean, I think Kale was referring it to as a level of detail thing, but it doesn't look like a level of detail problem to me. It looks like some textures are just in the wrong format. But yeah, the fact that you can now watch the attract modes on these without them freezing. I think one of them still freezes. I can't remember which one it was. But other than that, yeah. You can watch the attract modes. They do still stutter quite a bit because they're PowerPC based, and whenever MAME's PowerPC compiler recompiles code, it gets slow, very slow. It seems to be very slow at recompiling code. When I was trying to profile these, at least that's what I was getting. It was just spending all the time whenever it stuttered in the recompile code section. Of course, that could be misleading because profiles aren't perfect. But yeah, these are starting to at least look more stable than they did before, which is always a good sign. Maybe we'll get to the point where they are actually playable one day. Right now, say it doesn't seem to let you calibrate any of the controls. You go to the test mode, you try, and you do what it says. It just says steering wheel error and everything. So the inputs are definitely not hooked up quite correctly, but it's promising. What else is in this driver? Hold on. I just want to show a few of these. Anyway, I do like to show what people have been working on, even if you can't play them yet. It shows what may be on the horizon, and that's kind of something I like to talk about and look at. So yeah, there's a few things in here. So what else improved? I think that one improved into. So I think World Combat now runs through its demo mode too. So a quick look at that. Again, these aren't ones you can play. These are just me showing what's changed recently. I've got to move to the right fold. No. Yeah, again, look, it's things like the shadows that are broken in this, which you'd expect to be sort of either just alpha textures or maybe one bit textures. Yes, Smedis, this is. Again, not actually playable, but you can now watch the attraction. That's something, isn't it? Privilege of serving as leader. And again, look at that. That text just looks like it's got the wrong stride on it. But does this actually show any gameplay demo? I don't think it does. I think it just loops over sort of this type of thing. Can we point up? Insert no point. World Combat, yes. So I don't know how far we can get into this. I'm pretty sure there's it's not playable.
Choose your nickname.
I mean, clearly the gun clearly isn't calibrated, and I don't think you can calibrate it, unless I'm mistaken. So we'll see where it goes. You forgot about this. Alpha Private E1.
An explanation of the mission.
And then very specific textures not working. I think that's about all you're going to get from it. But yes, there's your weird skeleton soldier smugglers. Why? I don't know. That is just how it is. What's this one? Don't you know what this one is? Let's have a look. Tsurugi? I don't even know how you say this one. Does this one do anything? Yeah, I mean, I think if you looked at these same games in MAME last year, they did a lot less than they do now. So, as I keep saying, it's progress. It's not all the way there yet, but the Skeleton Army, yes, they were quite the Skeleton Army. Any other games you'd like to see, Aussie Guy? Like ones maybe I've not played as much. So what we're doing here? Okay. Oh, this is the one where you wave the sword around, isn't it? I actually remember seeing this one in an arcade once. You actually have the sword controller that you wave around. Yeah. I didn't remember the name because it's not a very memorable name, but yeah, I remember the game now, so. So, yeah. Hopefully, at some point, somebody just get down to the bottom of the very weird broken characters, which... I mean, I'm going to either guess it's a PowerPC emulation problem, it's just giving it the wrong data to display the textures with, or it's just something specific to the Voodoo 3. I guess on the lesser end, likely end of the scale, it could be some sort of protection that Konami have got, like they've got custom texture decompression hardware, but I doubt it. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty good Konami games, really, of the era. I definitely remember them being in the arcades and actually being quite popular. They seem to have faded away now. I've not seen them for many, many years. But yeah, with their custom controls and different themes, yeah, definitely there. The safety, please be careful, people around. With the swords, that definitely takes on a bit of extra meaning. But yeah. Let's look at the people. I think some of them do still freeze sometimes in the track mode. I can't remember which one. But you get the idea. Yeah, so, definitely improved. Shall we stick to looking at a few of these? I mean, I know I'm not playing anything. But, was it Mocap Boxing that still fails? Shall we find out? Yeah, let's find out. That one is vertical. Yeah, that's another odd thing. Some of these being vertical, which was definitely unusual for the time. Does this work? Well, I know it doesn't work, but does it do anything is maybe the question I should be asking here. Let's have a look. Police 911 does run through the full attract mode too. Ah, yes. Aussie guy mentioning that Mr. Do versus the Unicorns / Mr. Do's Castle was originally named Hammerbang and wasn't a Mr. Do game. Aussie guy dragged up some old pictures and material related to that. Again, I better press a button on a test switch pad. Yeah. Are there any controls? Yes, there's some controls. Game mode. What's it going to do? Anything? Nothing? So yeah, it's okay. We've got a full screen bad texture over the thing, but still sort of works, doesn't it? But yeah, I'd say decent graphics for the time. Really, boxes look good. Presentation is up there, but again, this is one of those where they were going for the whole custom control thing, hence it being called Mocap Boxing. You would try and box and it would pick up your position and things like that, so quite fancy. And yeah, I mean, Konami did other things that are emulated in MAME with weird custom cabinets. Hang Pilot is actually quite playable. But yeah, this seems to run its attract mode now. It does look a bit worse because of the broken texture over most of the screen at times, which again I think should just be some sort of alpha thing fading it maybe, or some spotlight. I don't know. I've never seen the original, but I think this is all it's going to do though. Unfortunately, that is one thing I've noticed with these. Most of them just show how to play during the demo screens. They don't show any gameplay. I'm not sure how I feel about that, because you really want any arcade game to actually show you a bit more gameplay, but these just do loop sort of their intro sequences, which was clearly a choice Konami made. What about the golf game? Because they did Mocap Golf too. Does this one do much? But we will look at Mr. Do Castle or Unicorns in a bit, as you guys mentioned it. So I didn't really come into this with a list of any real games to play. Sensor IO. Okay. Can we still game mode it? Maybe that's a no. Nah, maybe this one's not going to show anything, unfortunately. Game options. Clothes. Why is there a clothes option? Golf wear or golf? Okay. It doesn't have a strip golf option. But yeah, it doesn't look like that one's going to actually show anything. Yeah, we'll do an actual game now. So yeah, a bit of Do's Castle, I think. Mr. Do's Castle. Wikipedia said it was Knights versus Unicorns. Maybe Knights versus Unicorns sounds like some kind of home version knockoff, to be honest. So, this is the one that's a bit like Space Panic, isn't it? Oh, okay. That went well. So, I can't actually remember how to play this. Do you have to knock them down 2 holes? Or do you have to knock something on? I know you can push the ladders out the way, and odd things like that. Look, you can go back to the ladders. That got rid of you. Yeah, it's just enough not like Space Panic for it to be quite confusing at times. Also, they get out those holes far too quickly. If you hit things on their heads... Oh, well, apparently falling down with them is a bad idea. So you trap them in holes and then hit things on top of them. Or something. You crush them, yeah. Come on, do something. So just hitting them is not really good enough. You have to, yeah. Oop. Brown. I think the problem is I'm trying to play it like Space Panic, and if you try and play it like Space Panic, you will get nowhere because you're meant to attack them from above, but they still follow you to the side. Like, still, okay, that actually killed them because it was with a key. In that case, it is killing them. Is it because I'm? Okay, if they're on the platform when it falls, it kills them. Right, I get it. Now I remember. So yeah, I mean that doesn't make much logical sense, but I'll take it. If they fall with the platform, they die. If you just hit them through a hole, they don't die. So what are the school blocks? Oh, the school blocks not everything. Oh, the school blocks hold the other ones together. I don't know. Let's see. So you can knock a whole row down at once with the school blocks. But they still act as a platform. Ooh. Do I want to be getting up there to the... Right. Oh. I'm guessing I want to be going up there. The annoying sound. There we go. And now they're the extra letters. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, they weren't the extra letters for very long, were they? Yeah, I've knocked a few ladders around. The character looks more like Dig Dug character on the location test. I wonder if we'll ever see any of those turn up. Unfortunately, I mean, they're not ones I've seen anybody talk about outside of the those materials you found. You're not just angry because you grew. Oh. Yeah, I figured. So I made him angry, although I got more points because he was angry. Oh. That's not good. So is there any notable difference with the unicorn version? Yeah, it's arcade logic. So that's Mr. Do's castle. Let's just load up Mr. Do unicorn. Do uni. It's interesting that even for these versions it's got the two different names. Is this a regional thing, or are they not quite even settled on the name by this point? I hit on the head. So they don't get enraged at this point when you just do, or is that just a time thing at the end? I can just keep cycling through here. Let's see. Yeah, so you can knock those lads about. And this is definitely not scoring strats, is it? I do want to get back up there, but there's some gatekeeping going on. Yeah, I mean, I do like the Mr. Do series. I think he was a decent character for Universal. And the fact that they did try and at least make all the games a bit different, and maybe none of them didn't start as Mr. Do games. But, this little clown guy. I mean, it doesn't always make sense why he's in these situations, but it's a game. It doesn't really need to make sense. That was a bit of a waste, but that's still just the ground. Oh, and you can still walk on it. Okay. I mean, I kind of like Wild Ride, but that's because I played the Kong game on the Amstrad back in the day, which basically copied that entire concept. Okay, I thought if I did that, they were all going to fall down. Game tricked me. Okay, these blocks don't work the same. That's annoying. So you can't knock those down with them on. That Super Perrier version of Do Run Run confuses me though, because it's so many years later. I didn't think Universal was still even putting games out at that point. It's just out of nowhere. Maybe if we're doing Do stuff, we should even have a little look at it. It makes no sense. Not Pierrot. Yeah. How is this 1987? What? Yeah, I like the original Mr. Do better than the 2 Aussie guy. But yeah, they've redone the graphics and stuff. It's still... Part of me... I mean, is there information in magazines at the time about this release? Or that's not how you play the game. Because I don't understand the logic behind re-releasing a game, what, 3 years later with a minor graphical overhaul? Yes, you can push things. You circle things and they change into different things. Reminds me a bit of other games where you circle things like Data East Disco #1, Sweetheart. Yeah, also, yeah, the Mr. Do games tend to have these extra letters, which is one of the things. Those do. Also, of course, I mean, if you look far enough, you get Namco's Liberal Row, which has you surrounding areas. I think that's a very good game. Quick shot. That was a waste. I'm not very good at getting these in. We'll just go for the West African method. Which one are you talking about, Smedus? Which one's Mr. Do without the branding, in your opinion? So it really was released in '87. I mean, it's a very dated game for '87. Well, we completed that way. Because, yeah, again, Mr. Do. One of the things about the games is there tends to be multiple ways to complete stages. But yeah, 3 years after the original release. I mean, fair enough. Part of me just did wonder if it was sort of a year hack or something like that. But if it is actually confirmed it was released in '87, guess it didn't do amazingly well. I don't know. It's quite a good game. And the new visual overhaul is not bad. I mean, kind of unnecessary, but maybe they wanted to look a bit more like the more modern 16-bit games. Yeah, you can get big points if you do the log rules. Now, what did I want to play? What's it called? I know what I want to play. I can't remember what it's called. Hold on. Let me just quickly look things up. Hold on. Is it that one? I think it's that one. Okay, cool. Is it vertical? It might not be. Sticking with universal anyway. Oh, it's not vertical. Kick rider. So I don't mind sticking with a universal. This is from 84, and this is Kick Rider, which I'm not sure I've played on screen before. I may have done, but it's not one I remember playing. Quite a lot of these bike games, Shot Rider, this one, Kick Ride. This is Kick Rider. There's a few more too. MotoRace USA, sort of similar. Rally Bike by Turpon's on the bike game. It's not really racing. But yeah, this is as the name suggests, Kick Rider. People who are on bikes. And get kicked into cars. I mean, they could have called it Road Rash, I suppose. Yeah, there's a bunch of these things. I still wonder about the colours in Shot Rider in places. It's I can say that that's especially weird in them. It's a bit bump and jumpy without the jumping. You do have the ramming people. And you're definitely causing a few accidents here. Cars got some bombs. You never want to be too close to the sides of the road, do you? At least just tell you what's coming up. Some of these people on bicycles, though, that feels a little unfair. Yeah, this does feel a little mindless, to be honest. Not Mr. Do. Yeah, Universal. Universal had some decent titles. Oh. Still going. Oh, there's some. Let me just take that. And then for some reason it goes into this perspective, because why not? Yeah, it's there we go. Did XIRM workers work on rally bike? I don't know. Yeah, then it just doesn't just change into MotoRace, doesn't it? I think their influence was quite obvious. And then we've got a truck that seems to be dropping barrels that look a lot like the logs we just had in Do Run Run. Looks like they should play for quite a long time. I mean, it's on easy, so that might explain why. Easy does seem to be easier than you expect. And there's no lives counter? I mean, Not complaining, it seems like a very odd choice to not have the lives counter. Just got a timer. And it's quite a generous time, at least on these first stages. I mean, obviously, it's very unlikely I'm going to make it to the end now, because I've just been crashing all the time. It gives you a fair bit of playtime, this one. I'm sure arcades absolutely hate it. Yeah, I will show Wheels on Fire in a bit, just to show that it's, well, it's I think I did show it actually when I was showing the recently done prototypes. Since System 11 didn't mention it, I can show it again. See, there's a chance of me finishing the stage despite how I'm playing. No, in the desert in this bit. That guy does like to tell me how much time I've got left. Not sure why. The time's on the side. Don't need it duplicated, but what is he telling me out? He said 4 and it's 0 there. Maybe he's not telling me the time. It looked like he was telling me how much time was left. Maybe not. But anyway. Yeah, this game for some reason does feel a little bit prototypey. I mean, as far as I know, it's a fully released game, but kind of feels like they wanted to make their own MotoRace USA zippy race, as the guy says. And then they give you infinite lives, just a timer. I mean, yeah. I mean, we can look at MotoRace because just look at it and tell me that they weren't influenced by it. Hey, blah 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 blah. Oh, welcome. Hope you're doing well. But yeah. Using this. I mean, obviously not kicking things on bikes. Right, the road layouts are kind of similar. Yeah. Obviously this was quite a popular game. Less violent. You find Kick Rider too easy? Yeah, it is a bit. I mean, I'm terrible at the games. I was falling off the bike all the time and still managed to play it for longer than I wanted to. Whereas this is more challenging. I may end up not even getting to the easy section on this. Because in this you don't feel powerful. In Kick Rider you do feel overpowered. Incredibly overpowered. Nice turning animations here. No taking shortcuts, however. There we go, you see? And it switches to this view, where you're avoiding oncoming path. It does, I believe, have different backgrounds depending on which city you're approaching to. So because we're heading to Las Vegas right now, obviously there's the casino ahead of us. Clearly everybody is in a hurry to leave. They've obviously won a lot of money and want to get out of it before anybody gets suspicious. I'm not going to make it there. So I'm 80, empty in the time. How about rally bike? Sure, why not? we can have a little look at Rally Bike too. Sure. So yes, Tour Plans Rally Bike. Taito's, because they licensed Taito, didn't they? Obviously a bit more modern. Do a little wheelie and dig a little speed, or this one you hold up for the higher speed, but you hold the button to accelerate. So yes, no idea. Yes, I find it. I think it's there. Nice little cutscene. But yeah, Tourplan, mostly known for their shoot 'em ups. Did occasionally do things that weren't shoot 'em ups. I don't have it in my current build, but they did do that DT7 prototype thing, which is both a car game, vertical car game, and a shoot 'em up, sort of. Well, ish. It's not really a shoot 'em up, but it's more combat based. I'm doing a standard chance. I'm not very good at this. Qualifying rank is 30. I am 50th. 52nd. So you have to overtake a lot of other. Ooh. Because also, if you miss too much gas, you're not going to finish. I've made a fatal mistake of missing too much gas. I thought it was a ramp. That's my excuse. Hey look, cows. Ran out of gas, so I went to make friends with the cows. Yeah, it's got similarities. That sounds I didn't expect to be playing mostly bike games. Cebu's Shot Rider. Sort of, we've got a mix of the two ideas again. This time we've got a bit more combat because we're bashing people off the road. It's crash. So it's a bit more like Kick Rider in some senses. I don't know, but it looks more like MotoRace USA. Not a bad game, essentially. This is the one where I find the colours on the second level really odd, though, but I don't see how they could possibly be anything else. I've currently got my chat window covered, so I cannot see what you're saying until I get to the point where I die. The perils of trying to do this not at home and my single screen setup. Very easy to accidentally cover a window. And it's a little easy at times as well. Not too easy. But... Can still get knocked up like that, you see. Feels like an MSX game with more colour. A little bit. I think maybe the slightly jerky movement of things isn't helping. Does have a bit of a console, a computer. Anyway, I was trying to actually play this properly. That's it. See, I'm going to go with that, but that's not going to help, is it? Okay, we're going to get to the second stage. Oh. Not like this and that. Oh. There we go. Fuel overcharge. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, now if anything hits us, guys, unfortunately, I crashed into parts of the road. Oh, got question marks on the map. Fancy. This is still not the second stage, though. Oh yeah, it is. We've got the bridge. But no, I don't know anybody who's got this on the PCB, and I couldn't find any original footage of it. So no, I'm not playing very well. I like how, look, the colours here just look ugly. This is how it's meant to look at this part of the game. And maybe it is. I don't know. So I could not find any footage from original hardware that got up to this point in the game. So I cannot actually verify. Just quite an obnoxious choice of clean. So that could be that. And everything else looks fine. The water looks fine. It's just this weird green path, and especially on the map, it shows the path as brown, which is maybe what's throwing me off more than anything, because what you see visually in the main window now doesn't really line up with what's shown on the map in terms of the colour scheme. But I don't know. So I could not find any footage that got this far in the game from original hardware. Yeah, there were some bootlegs of this game, which is kind of surprising. And again, it's one that gives you really far too much time for your credit. I don't think arcade operators would be too happy. I don't mind. I quite like getting extra time for my money. At least I wouldn't complain because I'm terrible at games. But if anybody's good at games, we'd probably end up playing that one for far too long, I would imagine. Right, what we're going to do now then? Shall we play something absolutely terrible? Is it listed? Oh, maybe we can't. Maybe I've not got it listed. You might have escaped what I was going to play. Let me just check. I may not have the game, or it may be part of something else. Oh, maybe I can. Have I played this before on stream? I can't remember. Am I getting out a home computer? Yes, I'm getting out the Spectrum. Tape manager. Okay. Let's play some Bear Island. I didn't promise anybody I was going to play good games. And this is a very early Spectrum game. No fancy loading screens, no fancy loaders. I mean, it only takes 45 seconds to load, but that's how long the tape is. So you know you're going to be dealing with quality here. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother to speed this up too much. There you go. 1982, apparently. While on a transglobe flight, your plane crashed somewhere in the Arctic. You must try to fend for yourself until the rescue helicopter arrives. Your survival is in the main threatened by the polar bears who, due to the long winter, could just eat a human steak. Reading this black on green is very difficult. So, no ammunition, the bears are intent. Basically, the bear's homing on you, and you've got to try and... Okay. It uses the cursor keys. So, yeah. That's the thing, you move up, down, and right in single steps. You move left in steps of like 4 tiles. And I'm a stupid lummock, apparently. Fell in a hole. Yeah. So, these controls are annoying, in fact. So yeah, so these are the, I'm just going to redefine these for now. Hopefully we need to change them back later. But yes, I can move around, but left is always like that. I don't know why. There's not explained anywhere. The manual doesn't tell you this, the instructions don't tell you this. Part of me wonders if this is just a bad dump, but I downloaded several different tapes of it from several different sources. None of them indicate it's bad. But it just has this stupid mechanic whereby left movement is always like 4 squares. Oh yeah, and this is super laggy too, because it's almost certainly coded in BASIC. I think this is all I can do. So why? Commercial software on the Spectrum in 1982, everybody. So good. The bears do fall in the ice. The ones that bother to move, at least. Maybe it is a bad dump. Maybe all the dumps are actually the same dump, just in different formats. But I really don't know. Oh look, but the thing is, no point. It's kind of terrible. Let's not play that anymore. The thing is, they don't really even fall in the hole. They continue to chase you, but you can fall in the holes. Or maybe because they're overlapping, they don't fall in the holes. Or maybe I just don't understand. I mean, I don't have a real Spectrum to test it with, but I'd be very surprised if it doesn't. It does it in every other Spectrum emulator. I really don't know. I kind of think it might be quite a rare game, and so good luck finding a tape of it to check. And I mean, you could use that image if you want, but I think it would do the same on a real Spectrum. It is from 1982. Maybe because there was basically nothing else to buy, they thought people might buy it, but I don't know. It seemed broken, but at the same time, every game image it seems like that. And games that were more broken did get released, so who knows? It's just kind of bad. I stumbled upon it a while back and thought, lovely, terrible games. What else is there to show? I'm going to look at more unplayable stuff, because I know you all love unplayable stuff. This Duel Masters thing, this is the one where there's a cartridge available for it. Now, unfortunately, this has a card reader that isn't emulated. It takes ages to boot until it tells me the card reader doesn't work. There we go. Oh no, you can't play it. It is one of the Zavix-based plug and plays. So Takara SSD company, and yeah, because this is tied in with another franchise, the whole Duel Masters thing. This is the Duel Station. It's even got the Wizards of the Coast copyright down there. So yeah, it's actually a funky little plug and play unit where you would scan cards to battle monsters. If we fast forward the emulation a little bit, we will get to the point where it's just showing me the demo. So you know, it might be quite nice to try and get it better emulated at some point, but it will mean sort of doing a high-level emulation of the card scanner MCU and working out how it communicates with the main unit, which obviously it fails to do at the moment because it just gives that error message on startup. But yeah, I suppose you just scan the card you want and play the card you want and battle away. And it's potentially quite a good fun thing if you own the original. Which, I say I don't. We did buy it for studying, but it didn't come with any cards. So we couldn't actually make use of it. But, yeah. If I press a button, we can browse some of the menus. And then we can go into this menu here and look at whatever's in there. This menu here, which I think is monster database, yeah. The various facts. Some of them don't have any kind of bio information, some do. I guess it's telling you about the different cards that are available. I think we a fair few of them. That's the same thing. This is not sure what this is, because I don't read any Japanese. You can attempt to start the game and do your character. Choose you. Rock, paper, scissors type thing, which we clearly lost. So, you playing some cards, or I'm playing some cards? Someone's playing some cards. Okay. And it gets to the point where it tells me to scan things. Can't, if the scanner's broken. You know, just not emulated. So, yeah, that's as far as you can really play it without being able to scan any cards. But, potentially an interesting one for the future. They're not immediately playable. Excite Ping Pong 2 was also dumped, but again, the controls aren't emulated. Also, this is the ROM. The ROM in our unit was clearly going bad because there's a bunch of graphical corruption on this one. Can you see it here? You're not so much here. But there are various characters. Basically, all over the ROM, there were random bad bits, but it consistently read the same bad bits. So, it's definitely a bad ROM. I don't think we shipped it. So. Not so obvious here, though. I'll show you where it's obvious. In the character select screen, look down the side of the screen there on the bottom. If you look on the left menu and around the portraits, there's bad pixels, and yeah, those bad pixels are just random corruption across the whole ROM. So, assuming it didn't really ship like that, yeah, we need to redump this one from a different unit, which has been picked up, but it shows all over the place. You can find characters with bits out of some of the animation frames just as holes and things like that. So I don't think it's shit like that. Unlike this game, which I've had played before, which very much did. Look at the font. Look at the 3. Look at the left arrow. Yeah, those actually shit like that somehow, because we've dumped this from, well, we've had this dumped from multiple boards and it's always had the same problem. And it's called Wily Tower and it feels like a Mega Man game. I was meant to get the other switch down there, and I don't even know why. I mean, okay, I say it feels like a Mega Man game. It's a tough platform with a character that looks a bit like Mega Man. And it's called Wily Tower. But yeah, you can see the bad 3 all the time. It's literally cycling through numbers. Yeah, how? Why? Surely you would have noticed and fixed it. But again, it is like that on every board, so... there's the one on the left arrow, which you don't really see in the game, and the one on the 3. But... It's something that appears so frequently, the developers surely would have seen it. And it's not like these are masked bombs as far as I know. So it's not like they had to produce them and then found that they were all bad. Pretty sure they're just standard EEPROMs. But whatever. I don't know why I'm doing so badly either. I'm pretty sure I can get to the top of the first tower. I mean, this isn't a Mr. Do game, but it does also start to feel a bit like a Wild Ride. I've decided I don't like those things. See, I hide up there to get away from these things. And that we go. Sci-fi Donkey Kong. Yeah, it is a little bit. I think my favourite Donkey Kong like is Pandora's Palace, though. That's a very well done one. If somebody was to say that Pandora's Palace was actually developed by the same people as the original Donkey Kong, I would probably find that plausible, even though it wasn't. I think this is going to be a 2-hour stream, so the game we play after this is probably going to be the last one. You're playing this one now, aren't you? But yeah. So what is the game we're going to play after this? I think we're going to play a bit of Speed Coin. Because why not? There's a plug and play game a lot like this too, but I've not emulated the controls on it yet. That's another Zavix one. I was looking at that the other day and it's kind of reminded me of this. In fact, I might share that briefly at the same time, but so you can't control it yet. I'll have to check what name it was. So yeah, get the coin to the bottom. Don't break it. Like that. It's all about controlling the speed of the coin. Sound seems a bit dodgy. There we go. Yeah, it's a prototype. It's not finished, Adam. I mean, I guess they just felt the concept wasn't going to be appealing enough for arcade goers. Although the interesting thing about the plug and play game that's basically the same as this is it does appear to have had an arcade release. No, I'll talk about that in a bit. For now, I'm playing this one. Not for long though, because we've only got a few minutes left. And we've got small platforms. Ooh. Also, I guess they would have needed to add a bit more to this game to keep it interesting. It's still, you can tell it's still quite early on. It's once you've nailed down the techniques, it doesn't really throw much else in the mix. I mean, obviously it's a speed challenge. You have to get it right. But no like enemies and things like that. No annoying fans. And you get to see it bonus round. No, that's far too far. Yeah, you have to judge the speed to get that. I mean, I'm not getting the best times here. The multiplier is based on the times, and I'm pretty slow, but with a bit of practice, you could get this one down, and that's that one. It's my credit for speed coin. So yeah, it's fairly interesting if you've not played it, but it is a little bit basic. What was I going to look at? I was going to briefly show you the plug and play that kind of similar concept. Traffic's a bit noisy today. Just looking at what it's called, because you know how it is. Very difficult. Ah, that's the one. So yeah, we've seen arcade cabinets in this following one. but obviously this is not the arcade version we have. I imagine the arcade version is a little bit on the uncommon side. The arcade was apparently distributed by Atlas. But this is a Jara-Ja Land. This is definitely the home version. I don't know if Aussie Guy has any more information about the arcade version of this, but we've seen cabinets that clearly have the SSD company copyright on them, as well as Atlas, instead of like Takara and stuff like that, or maybe as well as Takara. But I'd assume the arcade version actually takes coins and doesn't have the timeout, because if you leave these plug and play games on for more than 10 minutes without inputs, they will turn themselves off to save power. And an arcade game would not be turning itself off to save power. I also doubt you'd have the Takara Plug-It branding on the screen of the arcade version. So we don't know if the arcade version used Zavix hardware. The SSD copyright on it suggests it probably does, because SSD were the one who made the Zavix hardware and the Zavix system software. And if that's the case, it would mean the arcade version, this is the only arcade machine using Zavix hardware. But obviously it's quite difficult to find. And this isn't really showing the stage I wanted to show, is it? I've got any buttons hooked up in this. It may show the stage I want to show shortly. Come on, speed through, speed through, speed through, speed through. This is just a different stage. Oh, maybe if I try and start the game. I don't know if I've got any controls up in this. Okay. This does have a mode that's very much like Speed Coin, if I can find it. This is not it, though. This is the problem when you're running things that don't have controls hooked up. But yeah, the thing is, it's a tilt controller type thing. This is why it's not emulated yet. And one of the mini games does have you rolling coins down a hill. So I'm just going to let the attract mode, well, the demo mode, speed through for a little bit and see if we get there. But I just wanted to sort of show it because of the... that's how it reminded me of Speed Coin. I don't know what it's called translated to English, Adam. So, where are we going to be? I think it's this game anyway. I must have run the wrong version, but I'm 99% sure it's this one. It's just probably... There we go. Look. Coin Adventure. It's not quite the same, but you're using the flippers to roll the coin around the level, and you have to control the speed of it and get it to the bottom. And I don't know. It's not tilting platforms like Speed Coin. Although I think you pull... I don't think it's like controller. I thought it was more tilty, but maybe it's not. Anyway, it's analog based, and you've got to get a coin to the bottom of the screen. Unless there was one that was more tilting it to, let's say, it's been a while. But it's a collection of mini games, and as far as I can tell, it needs some sort of analog control emulating, which isn't emulated. Anyway. So, what's that? I'm just checking over there. Phone. ULL Universal Research Laboratories is still an electronics then R&D division. Not another Universal Aussie Guy. We don't need Universal UPL and Universal Research Laboratories. It's getting a bit silly now. I mean, that's not the arcade version of the Zavix thing, because the arcade version is not dumped. And I don't know if it ever will, because it's probably incredibly rare. However, it's one I'd quite like to see one day, and maybe it'll show up. I don't know. But anyway. I did say I was going to do about 2 hours, and we're just over 2 hours now. So thank you everybody for being here. It's nice to have a little stream once in a while. and it's good to see everybody has not given up on the whole thing here, despite the rather infrequent nature of these streams. So yeah, thank you everybody for being here. It's been fun. We played some games, we watched track modes of other games, we looked at some good stuff, some bad stuff, a bunch of motorcycle games. Yeah, pretty say. I said it's a special because I know it wasn't going to go on for very long, and I haven't prepared much. But yeah, it's nice to actually do this for once in a while. And it looks like I'm going to be ending the stream at the point where we've got the peak number of viewers, which according to all YouTube logic is the worst thing you could possibly do if you want to actually build an audience. But yeah, if anybody is just watching, give a subscribe and you'll probably be notified when I do more streams, and it'll be the same type of thing. We'll just look at various things MAME can emulate, some of them that are playable, some that are not. But yeah, take care everybody, and yeah, thank you for the 5,000 subscribers, and I will see you all soon.